Have you ever wondered why rich people are always rich, poor people are always poor? Do you know 90% of world's wealth is controlled by 10% of population? These 10% of people doing something different, right? Let's uncover the secrets with a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad written by Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki is a self-made billionaire who came from humble middle class family. When I read this book first time, it completely blew my mind because this book looks so simple, but the concepts are highly powerful. You don't believe by reading this book, many people became the multimillionaires. Let's dive in. Robert referred to have two fathers. One was his biological father, whom he referred as a poor dad. One more, his friend's father, whom he referred as a rich dad. Both the fathers were super successful in their lives. When it comes to money, both have different perspectives. One dad says, love of money is a reason for all the problems. Another dad says, lack of money is a reason for all the problems. One dad says, I can't afford it. Another dad says, how can I afford it? One dad suggests to study well so that you will find a job in a good company. Another dad suggests to study well to buy the good company. One dad says, I am not rich because I have children. Another dad says, since I have children, I should become rich. The poor dad says, when it comes to money, play safe, don't take risk. But rich dad teaches how to manage risk. Robert was going in the same school where rich kids used to study. He did not possess any luxury ties, so that rich kids always used to avoid him. It was bothering him. One fine day he went to poor dad and asked, Dad, how can I become rich? Then poor dad, he himself do not have any idea. Then he told him to go to his friend's father. Next day, the Robert along with Mike, they went to rich dad and asked him to teach how to become rich. Then rich dad accepted the offer, but with one condition, saying that, okay, I will teach you, but not in classroom style. You guys have to work for me every Saturday for 3 hours. I will pay you 10 cents per hour. Then Robert and Mike accepted the offer and they were started working in a supermarket. They worked for 3 weeks. They got frustrated and they went back to rich dad and says, Dad, we are not going to work anymore. Then rich dad asked why. Then immediately they says, you broke your promise. You told us that you are going to teach how to become rich. Rather you are exploiting our work. You are making us to work for you. Then rich dad by laughing says, look, within 3 weeks time you are behaving like all of my employees. See, if you are working for entire day for next 50 years, imagine the same all other employees, how they are feeling, you can sense. Then what rich dad did, he picked the offer. Then he says, instead of 10 cents per hour, I will pay you $2 per hour. Then the Robert and Mike got excited. They were about to take that offer, but they kept their calm. And rich dad says, see, this got, because of this you got excited. Every person operates on two emotions. One is fear of losing money or greed of getting more money. Look at your father. He got best of the degrees from the best of the universities. Again, he is working for the best of the company, but still he is struggling to pay the bills every month because he is working for money. Someone should make money work for them. Then Robert did not understand anything. Then he asked, how can we do that? Then rich dad says, everyone should have financial education. He quoted that, look at the sports people and celebrities. They earn quick money during the initial phases of their career, but they will live pathetic life at the end of their career because lack of financial education. Rich people always acquire assets, but poor people, in the notion that they are acquiring the asset, but they ended up acquiring the liabilities. He says, asset is a thing when you buy, It should bring money into your pocket. If it is taking money out of your pocket, that is liability, not an asset. For example, car. Once you buy, the value comes down immediately you come out of the showroom. Or smartphone, or anything, any residential house could be the liability. Sometimes it making you spend money on it rather than earning money. Let us look at the cash flow statement of poor person. Income comes as a salary and goes out as an expenses, such as taxes, rent, and travel, clothes, etc. At the end of every month, he has to wait for next month's salary. He cannot survive without salary. Let us look at the middle class person cash flow. Income comes as a salary. He pays the taxes. Remaining, he has to pay liabilities such as housing loan, car loan, school loan, any other XYZ loans. At the end of the month, again he has to wait for the next month's salary. But difference between the middle class and poor person is he can survive 3-4 months without salary, whereas poor person has to get the salary to survival. Let's see the wealthy person cash flow. Income comes as a dividend, interest, royalty, etc. Those things goes as in asset column by generating the asset. Again, in turn, asset will create income, so that small portion of it will go to repay the liabilities, so that the rich person assets always gets accumulated because there is only limited spending. The rich dad emphasizes about the passive income. He says, mind your own business. What does it mean? When you are working for salary, you are working for your employer. When you are receiving that salary, you are paying the taxes, you are working for the government. When you are received that salary and again you are paying the EMI, you are working for the banks. You left small amount for you to live in. While you are working, you should build parallelly the income generating assets, such as business, which your presence is not required, or income generating real estate, or stocks, bonds, royalties, etc. Next thing, rich dad says, train your mind, which is most powerful asset in the world. It will create enormous wealth. Okay, he says 300-400 years ago, the land was an asset, wealth. 300-400 years ago, land was a wealth. Thereafter, factories production became wealth. But in present era, information is a wealth. But the problem with information is faster than the light. But it created many millionaires within no time. He quoted one example. Robert, once walking on the street, he saw the board, property worth of $1 lakh is available for $75,000. Then instead of he going to the real estate agent house, he went to attorney's house and negotiated for $20,000. Then immediately borrowed $2,000 from his friend and gave the paper ad and sold it for $60,000. Then within no time he made $40,000. What he is trying to tell over here is, if you find an idea, you can make money within no time. Next thing, rich dad says, work to acquire skill rather than work for money. Here, Robert was giving an interview in Singapore. One lady author comes, asked him, how can I become the best-selling author? Then Robert suggested her to go to take the sales classes. Then she got offended. She says, I got masters in literature and I have best of the degrees. You are telling me to attend the sales classes. I hate the sales people. They are money minded. Then Robert picks up one of the book and asks her to read the title. Then the title was written as a best-selling author. Immediately Robert says, see, look at the book. It is not written as a best written author. It is written as a best selling author. The selling is also a skill to acquire. knowing writing is not enough. You should acquire the skill. So he emphasizes here, skills is required to make money. To sum up, acquire the assets, not the liabilities, and get the financial education. Work for skills, not for the money. Last but not the least, you should train your mind. It is more powerful asset in the world. The Rich Dad Poor Dad book is a blueprint for financial freedom. Thank you.